speakers. We're going to have a surprise last-minute speaker, and I'm very proud that the NDP's Bob Simpson, the environment critic, will come and speak and take some words, and then we'll get
the things are really dire in the woods. Recent satellite photos show that 73% of the original productive old-growth forests on Vancouver Island have already been logged. That includes 90% of the valley bottom old-growth forests, where the biggest trees grow and the most biodiversity is found, have already been logged. 87% of the productive old-growth forests south of Port Alberni-Barclay Sound on the South Island have already been logged. And 99% of the coastal Douglas fir forests on the east side of the island are now gone. By contrast, only 6% of Vancouver Island's productive forest land, the old growth and the second growth, are protected in our park system. It's widely accepted in resource management circles that when there are too few deer in certain game management units, you close deer hunting until there are more deer in those areas. When there are too few trout in certain streams, you close trout fishing in those streams until there are more trout there. Similarly, we believe that for British Columbia, in regions and areas where there's too little old growth left, like Vancouver Island, the BC government has to enact old growth logging closures until there's more old growth again. Recently, the BC government announced a timeline of targets to reduce greenhouse gas emissions in order to counteract global climate change. That's a good thing. However, our old-growth forests are the most effective carbon sequestration devices around. They're far more effective than the ensuing exported to foreign plantations in Japan, the United States, and in South Korea, taking with it thousands of BC timber industry jobs each year. If the BC government banned raw log exports and helped in the investment of second-growth mills and value-added manufacturing facilities, they could legislate protection for the remaining old-growth forests on Vancouver Island and at the same time maintain forestry employment levels. It's a win-win situation we can't afford to pass up. I'm going to puberty here. So you know, if you look at the progress of history, progress for a better world is usually held back by a small group of rich good old boys with fossilized attitudes from a previous era, but who unfortunately have too much power. 300 years ago, they said that the earth was flat. 80 years ago, they said women weren't smart enough to vote. 20 years ago, they adamantly denied the existence of any environmental crisis. 1 year ago, they denied that the Earth's climate was changing and called the conclusions of the biggest peer-reviewed science reports in history as junk science. Today on Vancouver Island, they're still saying that all is well in the woods. The old-growth forests are being managed sustainably, and raw log exports are merely a... Today on Vancouver Island, they're still saying that all is well in the woods. The upper Waterman Valley, in the mid-valley, and raw log exports are merely in the upper Seneca Valley, in the lower Kennedy Valley, turned into clear cuts and tree plantations for short-term profits, while millions of logs flow south to American mills and the Japanese and South Korean mills. Are we just going to watch and let this happen to Vancouver Island? Are we going to let brontosaurus-brained politicians devise backwards policies for our forests and for our jobs? Are we going to take action to stop this? Because once the ancient forests are gone, there will be no second chance. The Campbell government is looking to appear green right now, but no government can truly be green if they consciously allow the elimination of the remaining unprotected old-growth forests on Vancouver Island. I'm sure that we have the large majority of British Columbians, and in fact the world with us on this issue, for protecting the last remnants of Vancouver Island's old-growth forests, and for banning the large majority of British Columbians, and in fact the world with us on this issue, for protecting the last remnants of Vancouver Island's old-growth forests, and for banning... Are we going to hold Pat Bell, the Minister of Agriculture and Lands, accountable? Are we going to hold Barry Penner, the Minister of Environment, accountable? Are we going to hold Gordon Campbell accountable? And are we going to hold every single BC Liberal MLA in this province accountable to us?